Guys, we are 40 subscribers away from getting to 6,000 subscribers on the channel. I want to first thank everyone that's hit that big red button. And this is your first time watching a video on Giants now, go subscribe. I promise you're not going to find a better Giants YouTube channel out there. And if we get to 6,000 subscribers on today's video, I will start the next video by taking 6 shots of Fireball. That's the only liquor we got here at the office, so I'll have to do it with Fireball. So if you want to see me drunk doing a Giants video, go down right now and hit that big red sub button. Welcome into New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green, and in today's show, we're going to take a look at 5 QB targets that I think the Giants could target in the offseason via NFL free agency. And these aren't guys like Deshaun Watson or Russell Wilson. These are guys that could come in and compete with Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones has missed significant time in the past 2 seasons, and he's coming off a neck injury, and that concerns me. So I think it's time for the Giants to invest in a quality backup quarterback. And the first option, Mitchell Trubisky. He spent a large portion of his career with the Chicago Bears. Last year, he spent time with the Buffalo Bills, and I have him on the list because I think he deserves another chance to be a starter. I don't think that will be with the New York Giants, but I do think that he could get a chance to come over to the Giants because he has worked with Brian Daboll. Brian Daboll was the OC with Trubisky when he was the backup to Josh Allen with the Buffalo Bills. And look, Trubisky, he's had some good years, he's had some okay years, and he's had some bad years. The fact that he went 11-3 as a starter in 2018 and completed 66% of his passes, threw for over 3,000 yards and a touchdown to interception ratio of 24-12, that's pretty solid. I don't think Trubisky's ever going to be a world beater starter in the National Football League, but I think he could really carve out a role as a solid backup quarterback that could come in and replace someone like Daniel Jones if they got hurt or if they're struggling. I'm not anticipating either of those happening next year, but I think it's time the Giants really invest in a backup quarterback. So sound off for me. Be the GM, take the seat of Joe Schoen. Do you think they should sign Mitchell Trubisky in NFL free agency? If you think they should, go down in the comments and type S for sign. Or if you're like, no way, I don't want Mitch Trubisky on this team, go down in the comments and type P for pass. Quarterback target number 2 the Giants could target in NFL free agency to compete with Daniel Jones, Tyrod Taylor. I like Tyrod Taylor, and I have him on this list because I think he's a solid backup, an okay spot starter, and he spent the 2017 season with the Buffalo Bills. No, that doesn't overlap with Brian Daboll, but it does overlap with Joe Schoen when he was their assistant general manager. What he did this past season with the Houston Texans as a spot starter, started 6 games, completed just 60% of his passes, which is pretty low in my opinion, almost 1,000 yards and a 5-5 touchdown interception ratio. This isn't a guy that's going to come in and try to be the starter for the New York Giants, but I think he would be a solid backup. Much better than Jake Fromm, much better than Mike Glennon. We don't want Nick Glennon ever on the New York Giants again. But at the end of the day, Tyrod Taylor is the type of quarterback I could see the Giants targeting in free agency. I don't think he'd be expensive, maybe a 1-year, $5 million deal. You got to invest in a backup quarterback because we have seen time and time again Daniel Jones is more than likely going to miss a game or 2 due to injury. If Daniel Jones get injured, I'll be tweeting about it on my Twitter account, and I'm trying to get to 1,000 Twitter followers, and I need your help. The next 15 people that follow me on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_, I will have the link in the comments and the description of this video. Click it, click the follow button, and send me a DM. Let me know you came from this video, and I will follow the first 15 of you guys back. QB target number 3 the Giants can target an NFL free agency this offseason is Marcus Mariota. We've done a video in the past on Marcus Mariota, and a lot of you people that watched it really liked the idea of signing Marcus Mariota. He hasn't played much with the Las Vegas Raiders the past couple of years, and the last time he was really a full starter and played well was back in 2016. 15 starts, completed 61% of his passes, threw for almost 3,500 yards, 26 TDs, and 9 interceptions. That is really, really good. Then back in 2019 was really the last time he played as a starting quarterback, completed less than 60% of his passes, threw for just 1,200 yards, a 7-2 TD interception ratio, and I think he would be a good fit as a backup quarterback for the Giants. I think he's somewhat similar to Daniel Jones. I think he's a better athlete. I think he could be used more in a design run type of offense. But at the end of the day, all of these guys that I'm going to bring up on this show have starting experience and have come in as a backup and done well when they've been called upon. I think Mariota would be a good fit with the Giants, and I think that Dable could find a way maybe to sneak him in some red zone packages like the Raiders did this past year and use him in like a zone reader RPO type of look. But guys, at the end of the day, you can only sign one. Maybe you want Tyrod Taylor. Maybe you want Marcus Mariota. This is your chance to get into the comment section and sound off, so do it loud and proud. If you want Tyrod Taylor, go down in the comments and type TT. Or if you want Marcus Mariota, go down in the comments and type MM. This name, I thought about not putting on the list because I think he's still trying to be a starter in the National Football League, and that's Teddy Bridgewater. He started a lot of games last year for the Denver Broncos, and he's pretty much been a starter his whole time in the National Football League. In 14 games last year, 18 tutties, 7 interceptions, completed 67% of his passes. And you're looking at that like, whoa, this guy's incredibly accurate and smart with the football. It's more like he's just a dink and dunk type of quarterback, but he threw for 3,000 yards as well. I like Teddy Bridgewater a lot, and if he's willing to come on a cheap deal, which I doubt. I think Teddy Bridgewater is going to get a deal from a team, maybe like the Steelers that need a quarterback, or another quarterback-hungry team that's looking for a starter could give him a big deal. But if that market dries up and a team doesn't want Teddy Bridgewater to be their starter, I think it would be a great look for the Giants to try to get Teddy Bridgewater in to be the backup for Daniel Jones. Daniel could learn some things from Teddy. I like Teddy as a quarterback. I think he's a great locker room presence. Everywhere he has been, players have ranted and raved about him. So I think it would be a great idea for the Giants to target Teddy Bridgewater in NFL free agency. But let me know, what do you think? Do you think, you know what, he's probably going to be too much money? Or you don't want a guy that's going to push Daniel Jones to fight for the starting spot, which I think is fair. I think it's all right if you just want someone to be the backup and be a solid backup. But weigh in, sound off, type Y for yes, or type N for no. The last guy on this list, and he's been a starter for a couple years with the Colts, and he started some games with the Patriots. Last year he started games for the Miami Dolphins when Tua was hurt, and that's Jacoby Brissett. He started 5 games last year, completed just about 63% of his passes, threw for just 1,200 yards, almost 1,300, 5 TDs, 4 interceptions, but he is a stable backup. He led the Miami Dolphins on a Thursday night to beat the Baltimore Ravens. I think if he's asked to come in and play for a 2 or 3 game stretch, he is capable of holding down the fort. And another thing that I know Giants fans are going to love, Bill Parcells, when Jacoby Brissett came out in the NFL draft, he backed him and he had his vote of confidence for Jacoby Brissett. I like him as a quarterback. I think just like a lot of these guys, he is someone that is a good locker room guy. So a quick recap, Mitchell Trubisky, he's, in my opinion, not the number 1 on my list, but if I had to project and predict, I think he's the most likely guy due to the fact of his connection with Brian Dable. I like Tyrod Taylor a lot. I think he's the guy the Giants will look at. Marcus Mariota, he would be at the upper tier of my list, and Teddy Bridgewater, he's number 1, but I don't want to bring in a guy that thinks they're going to be a starter. And the last guy, Jacoby Brissett, I could see any 5 of these guys being on the New York Giants next year. It's time. Invest in a backup quarterback because we don't want another Jake Fromm or Mike Glennon situation next year. Guys, if you made it this far in the video, go subscribe and hit me up on Twitter. Give me a follow. I got to get to 1,000 subscribers. It's almost sad at this point that I don't have 1,000 followers, not subscribers, followers. So go hit me up on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_.